Your peace of mind, your ability to buy what you need, and your plan for the entire week often hinge on one single notification that hasn't appeared. If you're watching this later, hello. But if it's morning, you might be checking your account right now, feeling that knot in your stomach. This isn't just another news day. For millions, this is about real life, the rent check, the trip to the supermarket, the prescription you must pick up. When that direct deposit is even slightly off schedule, your entire world can feel shaky. It's a Wednesday payment alert. And yes, for a large group of people, Social Security and certain Veterans Affairs deposits are beginning to land. Some accounts show available funds, some show a pending transaction, and some show absolutely nothing at all. This is for every retiree, SSDI recipient, survivor, disabled individual, caregiver, and anyone whose budget depends on a consistent monthly check to make ends meet. If that's you, I need you to take one slow breath with me right now. The most critical thing to understand from the very beginning is this. A pending status is not a rejection. Seeing a blank balance is not a termination. The gaps in timing you're witnessing today are overwhelmingly about banking procedures, not a mistake you personally made. I'm going to guide you through this calmly. We'll cover why Wednesdays are significant, which groups usually get paid then, how two people with identical benefits can see money hours apart, and the steps to take if your funds seem genuinely missing. And you need to stick around for the middle part of this video. That's where we dismantle the panic by detailing the specific payment groups and the real reason your bank's timing is unique. If we haven't met before, hit subscribe so you never miss these crucial payment breakdowns and updates. In the comment section, let me know your city and your state. This helps us all see a live, national picture of what's occurring, because deposit patterns can shift from one banking institution to another and from one area to another. So let's start with the urgent question on everyone's screen this morning. Why do some accounts reflect a Social Security deposit right this minute, while others are completely empty? The core answer is straightforward. The funds are sent out by the government on a set timetable, but your specific financial institution dictates the exact moment those dollars become usable in your account. That interval, the lag between dispatch and access, is where worry breeds. For countless Americans, Wednesday represents more than a weekday. It's distribution day, the day the system transfers monthly support from the federal ledger into private hands. And when you live on a fixed amount, timing isn't a minor detail. It's the central detail. A handful of hours can determine if the housing payment goes through or gets rejected. A handful of hours can control whether you get your critical medication now or have to delay. A handful of hours can decide if you do the grocery run today or spend time anxiously calculating how to make the last few dollars stretch. So when folks wake up, log in, and see zero, fear is an instant reflex. And let's be clear, that fear is justified. It's not dramatic. It's the natural result when your financial buffer is thin and the cost of everything is high. But here's what that fear can accomplish. It can morph a routine processing step into a full-blown emergency inside your head. And online platforms magnify this because when one person posts, "Mine's here," suddenly it feels like you're the only one still waiting. You aren't. Let's walk through the actual mechanism, the true sequence. This is the part that often gets explained poorly. First, the Social Security Administration authorizes the payments. This means the SSA confirms the correct sum and the calendar, then sends the payment order. Second, the U.S. Treasury disperses the money. The Treasury pushes out enormous batches of cash via the federal payment network. Third, individual banks get those batches and then assign them to customer accounts. This is the stage with the most variation, because while the Treasury can dispatch the funds, your bank alone chooses when to post them to you as spendable cash. Therefore, on the very same official payment date, one institution might post the money right at or near 12 a.m. A different bank might post in the early morning hours. Another may post around noon. Yet another might wait until late afternoon. Some will display a pending notice before flipping it to available after a final settlement. This is the actual reality. It's not speculation. It's not a guess. It is simply the way federal payments journey through various financial pipelines. And this explains how two people living next door, receiving the same benefit type, can access their money at different times. It explains why a relative in another part of the country can text, "Got mine?" while you're looking at a number that hasn't budged. It does not instantly signal that your payment is lost. Frequently, it means your bank operates on a distinct internal processing rhythm. Now let's clarify the Wednesday payment categories, because this is where understanding deepens. Social Security, retirement, and SSDI payments commonly follow a Wednesday calendar determined by your date of birth, unless you're part of an exceptional category. The framework typically works like this. If your birthday is on any date from the 1st through the 10th of a month, your payment is slated for the month's second Wednesday. If your birthday lands between the 11th and the 20th, your payment is scheduled for the third Wednesday of the month. If your birthday falls on the 21st through the 31st, your payment is set for the fourth Wednesday. This calendar governs many individuals collecting retirement, SSDI, and certain survivor benefits. And when it's your designated Wednesday, the Treasury releases the funds on that date. But once more, your bank governs when you can actually spend them. Now, there are key exemptions, and I'll cover them methodically because misunderstandings frequently sprout here. One major exemption is the group that started receiving Social Security prior to May of 1997. Many in that category are generally paid on the month's third day, not the Wednesday cycle. So if your benefits began before May 1997, your deposit pattern probably won't align with the Wednesday chatter. Another exemption is SSI. Supplemental security income is usually paid on the first day of the month, and if that first day is a weekend or holiday, it may arrive on the preceding business day. SSI is not fundamentally connected to the Wednesday cycle. Therefore, if you get SSI alone and don't spot a Wednesday deposit, that isn't inherently a red flag. It may just mean you're on a separate track. And VA benefits follow their own design. VA compensation and pension payments are generally issued on the first business day of the month, but numerous banks, as a customer service, may credit those deposits ahead of time. So when you hear people discussing VA deposits arriving early, that's often a bank's courtesy posting, not an adjustment to the official VA calendar. Here is the crucial distinction I want you to lock in your mind today. Disbursement is not the same as posting. The Treasury disperses the funds, your bank posts the funds. These are two separate events. The Treasury sends money out in massive batches. Banks obtain those batches and then allocate them to individual accounts. Certain banks opt to credit early. Some pause for final settlement. Some display a pending status first. Some clear everything simultaneously. The SSA cannot compel your bank to post more rapidly. The SSA cannot bypass a bank's overnight settlement routine, internal batch timing, or security review steps. So if you notice your deposit listed as pending, that can indicate the bank has acknowledged the incoming payment, but hasn't completed the steps to move it into your accessible balance. Now let's discuss why a pending notice appears for some individuals and not for others. Different banks use different software platforms. Some handle incoming deposits in a constant stream. Others process in scheduled groups at specific points in the day. Credit unions sometimes post at different hours than major national banks, though it can vary either way. Some big banks post rapidly, while some local institutions require more time, or the opposite can be true. Even inside the same bank, posting can be affected by settlement windows, the kind of account you have, and internal verification checks. So it is completely plausible that a person with the identical benefit amount, the same payment schedule, and even the same birth date bracket gets their money earlier or later than you do. And friends, none of that implies you did anything wrong. None of that means you made an error. It signifies your bank is performing its standard function, processing transactions. I want to address directly the groups who often experience heightened tension on deposit day, because your scenario can appear slightly distinct, and that difference can feel alarming if nobody clarifies it. Let's talk about widows and widowers receiving survivor benefits. Those survivor benefits often adhere to the same Wednesday schedule as retirement benefits, unless you belong to the pre-May 1997 group. So yes, many surviving spouses are part of the Wednesday payment rotation. If your payment schedule puts you in today's group, your funds could be in motion right now, even if they're not yet visible in your available balance. Now, let's discuss disabled adult children, frequently abbreviated as DAC. These are adults who became disabled before turning 22 and receive benefits based on a parent's record. Their payment timing usually follows the schedule attached to the primary beneficiary's record. So if the parent's record is on the Wednesday cycle, the DAC deposit commonly follows that same timing. Again, any timing discrepancies usually trace back to bank posting behavior. Let's cover SSI couples. If both you and your partner receive SSI, your deposits are generally linked to the SSI schedule, typically the first of the month or earlier due to weekends, holidays, not the Wednesday birth date framework. So if you're an SSI couple and you don't see a Wednesday deposit, that might be perfectly normal. It likely isn't an indicator that something is amiss. Now, dual beneficiaries, people who get both SSI and SSDI, this is where bewilderment can spike because you might have two different schedules in your home budget. One payment could arrive on the 1st and another on a Wednesday based on the birth date calendar. And those two payments can sometimes land on separate days, especially around weekends and holidays. So if you have dual eligibility, take care not to compare your situation to someone receiving just one type of benefit. For those receiving both VA and Social Security, these are two distinct systems. They may both be funded via the Treasury, but they are processed separately and can be posted differently by your bank. One might show up first and the other later. That doesn't mean either one is missing. And for representative payee accounts, if someone manages your benefits and the deposit goes into a dedicated account, some institutions apply extra internal review layers that can occasionally slow down when the money becomes usable. It does not automatically mean the payment is frozen or suspended. It can simply be the bank completing its own protocols. Let's tackle the online noise, because inaccurate information travels fastest on deposit days. You might encounter posts declaring a nationwide holdup, or that checks are being held back, or that the SSA altered the schedule last night, or that banks are deliberately blocking deposits. Friends, here is the truth. There is no verified official announcement of a nationwide delay for scheduled Wednesday Social Security payments. There is no official declaration from the SSA or the Treasury stating payments are being withheld. There is no new regulation stating deposits are canceled. What is unfolding is normal payment movement combined with normal bank posting variances. And social media intensifies the fear because it transforms individual situations into broad declarations. One person's funds are accessible, another's are pending, another's will appear later today. That is not a catastrophe. That is standard processing. Now, let's calmly review what you can do today. First, open your bank's app or website and search for pending deposits or scheduled transactions. Some banks list incoming deposits in a separate section. Some only show them within detailed account activity. Second, log into your official My Social Security account. You might find payment status details there, depending on your account setup. Third, double-check that your direct deposit information is accurate, particularly if you've recently switched banks or updated routing or account numbers. Fourth, if you've recently moved, changed your address, or updated important details in your SSA profile, be aware that such changes can sometimes initiate verification steps. So what if it really doesn't show? Here's the common guideline many follow: the 3 business day window. If your scheduled payment date passes and then 3 full business days go by with no deposit and no pending status, that is the reasonable point to reach out to Social Security for assistance. But friends, don't hit the panic button on day one. A delay measured in hours is frequently just bank timing. Even a delay pushing into the next morning can still be normal, depending on your bank's processing cycle. If you do need to contact the SSA after that standard window, be ready to make the call efficient. Have your Social Security number on hand. Have your bank's routing number and your account number. Know your most recent benefit amount. And know the usual date your payment is supposed to arrive. Typical reasons for brief delays can include bank holidays, internal bank processing cycles, account verification steps, or recent updates to direct deposit or personal data. And again, a short delay does not automatically imply suspension. It does not automatically signal an overpayment hold. It often resolves without you needing to do a thing. I want to pause and acknowledge the emotional weight, because deposit day stress isn't solely financial. It's deeply personal. So many of you are doing everything correctly and still feel pressed. Grocery prices are higher, energy bills are a burden, rent hikes feel constant. Prescriptions can carry staggering price tags. And when your income is fixed, there's no vast space for unexpected hiccups. So when a deposit is late by even a few hours, your whole system can react as if it's a threat. If that's you today, please hear this. You are not by yourself. Your worry is logical, and you are entitled to clear facts, not more fear. You also deserve to remember something vital. These benefits aren't a handout. You labored, you paid in, you earned this support. While we're here, I'll mention a few practical support reminders because sometimes deposit day anxiety is part of a larger budget pressure, and assistance programs might exist. If your income has shifted lately, Form SSA 44 could be relevant in some scenarios, particularly for certain Medicare-related adjustments. For help with Medicare costs, investigate Medicare savings programs like QMB, SLMB, and QI, depending on your qualifications. For prescription drug cost assistance, look into the Extra Help Program, also known as the Part D Low-Income Subsidy. If heating or cooling your home is a strain, check for LIHEAP assistance in your state. If food is a concern, review SNAP eligibility rules for your household. Even if you were turned down previously, shifts in income or expenses can alter your eligibility. And if you prefer to have taxes withheld from your Social Security payments, voluntary withholding via Form W-4V is an option for some recipients. A critical safety alert on deposit days. The SSA will not call you demanding gift cards. The SSA will not threaten you with arrest over the phone. The SSA will not contact you out of the blue and insist you provide your full Social Security number and bank details during a high-pressure call. Scammers are aware people are anxious on deposit days. They exploit fear. They create urgency. Don't let anyone rush you. If a call feels menacing or frantic, stop, breathe, and confirm through official channels. Let's return to today's Wednesday deposits and what you can realistically anticipate. If today is your scheduled Wednesday, your money is traveling through the pipeline. If you see it as pending, that means it's in the channel and probably awaiting the bank's final settlement actions. If you don't see anything yet, that does not instantly mean it's vanished. Many banks post at various points throughout the day. Some post in the evening, some post overnight, with funds appearing the next morning. So here's a steady plan for today. Check once in the morning. Check again around midday. Check in the late afternoon. Check one more time before you go to sleep. And if necessary, check tomorrow morning. You are not late because someone else posted a screenshot. You are not being targeted. You are likely waiting on your bank's unique posting cycle. And friends, if your anxiety is rising, take this statement and hold on to it. Disbursement can be punctual even if posting is slower. That's the system's reality. Looking forward, payment calendars remain consistent for the foreseeable future. If any major modifications were coming, they would demand official SSA policy revisions, Treasury processing updates, and in some cases, congressional activity or broader administrative coordination. Those are not stealth changes that occur in the dark without formal notification. So if you see viral posts claiming everything transformed today, approach them skeptically. Most often, what changed isn't the schedule, it's the online dialogue. Before I finish, I want to speak directly to anyone watching who is frightened right now. If your rent is due and you're facing an unchanged balance, that is a crushing weight. If you require medicine and you're waiting on a deposit, that is genuine strain. If you're providing care for another person and trying to keep everything stable, you are bearing a heavy load. You merit reassurance built on evidence. And here is that evidence again, plain and direct. The SSA authorizes payments, the Treasury sends out the money, banks post the deposits, banks do not all post simultaneously. A pending status frequently means received but not finalized. Not seeing it early in the day is often a processing lag, not a cancellation. And the standard advice many follow is to allow up to 3 business days before taking further steps, unless you have a confirmed issue with your account. If this breakdown helped you feel even a bit more steady, let me know below. Comment with your state so we can observe trends. And if you want more updates like this one, steady, clear, and centered on what you need to know, subscribe to my channel so the next payment explanation reaches you. Please take a moment to like this video. It truly helps. Look after yourself today. Drink some water. Have a bite to eat if possible. And remember, you are not overlooked. You are not invisible. And if today is your deposit day, your funds are advancing through the network, even if your bank is being slow to reveal them. I'll continue monitoring the updates and patterns people share, and I'll keep translating what it all means into simple language, so you can navigate these days without panic.